So what if I told you that a text written, over 2,700 years ago holds a diagnosis for why societies fall apart that is just shockingly relevant today, and it's not really about politics or economics, it's something much, much deeper. Let's dive into this ancient diagnosis.
We're going to be looking at the book of Hosea, and wow, does it describe a society in absolute freefall? I mean, the context here is a time of total chaos, a bloodbath of political turmoil. Honestly, it reads less like some dusty old history book and more like scrolling through a modern newsfeed documenting a complete societal breakdown.
And that really brings us to the core question the text is trying to answer. The source material argues this isn't just random chance. There's a really clear cause and effect at play. It's actually offering a precise diagnosis for why a society comes completely unglued.
So these are the symptoms the text lays out. But we're not just talking about a few isolated crimes here. This stuff had become the norm. It's like there were no boundaries left, no restraint at all. It's a society where bloodshed follows bloodshed, and that basic fabric of trust that holds everything together, it's been completely torn to shreds.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The author isn't just making a list of problems. The text insists that all of this chaos, the lying, the murder, all of it is just the outward sign of a much more profound sickness, something deep down at its core. It's pointing to a root cause.
So what is that root cause? Well, according to this ancient diagnosis, the entire collapse of their society can be traced back to the fact that three fundamental pillars were just gone.
That's it, just three things. The entire health of the nation was basically balancing on these three pillars. And when they were removed, everything else just came crashing down.
And here they are. First, a lack of what's called relational truth. Now, this isn't just about facts. It's about being true to your word, to your promises, being dependable. Second, no steadfast love, or hesed. We'll come back to that one. And third, no intimate personal knowledge of God. See, it's not about knowing about God. It's about actually knowing God.
Okay, let's zoom in on that second pillar, hesed. Because our modern idea of love doesn't even come close to what this word means. And the source material argues that if you don't get this concept, you're going to miss the whole diagnosis.
One scholar defines hesed this way, and it is a powerful definition. This is not some squishy, fuzzy feeling. It's a committed, merciful action. It's when the powerful person chooses to show undying devotion to the vulnerable person, especially when they haven't done a thing to deserve it.
The story of Boaz and Ruth from the Bible is a perfect picture of this. Okay, so you've got Boaz. He's old, rich, male, a native landowner. And then you have Ruth. She's young, poor, female, and a landless immigrant. I mean, you literally cannot get a bigger power imbalance. And yet, he shows her this hesed, this completely undeserved, life-altering devotion. This is the kind of love the text is saying was missing from their society.
All right, so let's move on to the consequences. What happens when a society loses that relational truth, that hesed, and that intimate knowledge? Well, the sickness doesn't just stay put. It spreads, like a virus.
The first, and maybe the most obvious result, is that social decay we saw at the very beginning. Without these foundational pillars, ethics just collapses. Religion becomes totally disconnected from how people actually live, and the society basically eats itself alive.
But then the text makes a connection that is, frankly, staggering. It claims the second result is environmental collapse. The land mourns, it says, all because of human faithlessness. The animals, the birds, even the fish in the sea are suffering. It directly links our relational and spiritual health to the health of the planet itself.
And this, of course, raises the big question. If the whole society is this sick, where did the failure start? I mean, who is responsible for this catastrophic loss of knowledge?
And the answer is a shocker. God's argument isn't with all the people pointing fingers at each other. No, his contention is with the priests, the spiritual leaders. They were the ones who were supposed to teach, to be the windows through which people could see God. But they rejected that knowledge, and because they did, the people were destroyed.
This brings us to the final, and I think the most powerful metaphor the text uses to get to the absolute root of the sickness.
The text uses the metaphor of prostitution versus marriage to explain it. On one hand, you have a relationship based on using the other person. It's totally transactional, there's no real commitment, and it's completely undependable. On the other hand, you have a relationship based on knowing the other person. It's built on a faithful, steadfast covenant.
And ultimately, This was the problem. The society had chosen a spirit of prostitution in its relationship with God. They wanted the rituals, the sacrifices, all the things they thought would help them control God to use him for their own benefit. They were basically saying, "No, God, I don't actually want to know you, to surrender to you. I just want to use you."
And that kind of leaves us with this final thought. This ancient diagnosis suggests that the core illness of a society, and maybe of us as individuals, boils down to this one choice. Do we build our relationships with each other and with the divine based on utility and control? Or do we take the massive risk of actually knowing and being known, which requires surrender and trust? What does it really mean to trust instead of to control?